Good morning, friends and family in Pittsburgh and around the world. I am doing another one of these sessions, Real Estate Unfiltered. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I have a lot of friends and family who I realize could use my knowledge and my expertise. Being 22 years in the business and as an investor, successful investor, real estate investor for longer than that. So I realize when I meet with people, I'm saying the same thing, which is great and it's fine. But I wanted to share as much information up front so my friends and family are educated and make the best decisions. So today we're going to talk about blue carpet. It doesn't have to be blue. It could be pink, it could be green, the carpet that people put in the 80s, right? Because there's always trends. And I love looking at blue carpet or pink carpet, not the color, but what I like to look at is if the carpet is meticulously maintained, okay? So if that carpet was installed in the 80s and there is no stain on it, and you could still see some gold specks or whatever it had, fancy look it had back then, and you can see it is solid, it is not coming up easy. You might go, oh, geez, that kind of stinks that it doesn't come up that easily. But what it tells you is that these sellers put time, money, and effort into doing that, into their home. What it tells me, I mean, again, it's typically someone who's older, who's been there a long time, obviously, because if you put the carpet in the 80s, which, geez, 40 years ago, that's hard to believe. So you're going to be older. And the thing about it is, it tells me a story about the owners, the current owners, right? So if the carpet is meticulously maintained, that means the furnace is probably serviced every year. The roof is probably serviced every year. All the components of the home, right? Because it tells you the story about the person. So sometimes people walk and go, "Ooh, I don't like this carpet. No, this is not something I like." Well, guess what, guys? It can be removed. You can redo the hardwood floors. You can put other floors down. But what you can't always do is get a solid home, okay, that someone maintained. So sometimes you might see a flip, and flips are fine if they're done well. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes flips are great because it's, minimal work to do, obviously. And some flippers are excellent and really do their due diligence. However, sometimes you might see all new stuff but it's built on a shaky foundation. Okay. So they might paint it and they might put flooring down. But you go in and you can see the flooring isn't quite right. And the painting, I always look if the paint, if a window is painted shut, that is a big red flag to me because I think if someone painted the window shut and that's who they hired to paint the windows, the walls, who do they hire to do the other work? The electric, the plumbing. So these are a couple things that I like. I notice, like I said, with the electric, same thing with if you have the outlets, if it's freshly painted, but the outlets are painted over, or the switch is painted in such a way, these are not meticulous people who did the painting. And if they were meticulous painters, then they did it on the cheap, which means that the current owner tried to save some money. Can't blame anybody for trying to save money and make money. But when you're out there buying, you want to make sure that you are getting the best home. Now, how does that pertain to you as a seller? Sometimes seller goes, should I remove the carpet? It all depends on your personal situation. If the carpet's in really bad shape and smells, it's probably a good idea. That being said, if you remove it, you don't know what's underneath. So you need to be prepared to do something with the underneath potentially. Okay. But like I said, if it's in really bad shape and smell, yes, I do believe you should get it done. That being said, you might go, well, I don't have the time, energy, or money to do it. It shouldn't cost that much money for someone to come out and pull some carpet, or maybe you can, you know, ask some people in your friend circle if they could help you. But here's the thing, guys. If you don't remove the carpet, it's okay. It's okay. It's always okay. I always say at the end of the day, what sells a house is price, condition, location. So we can't change the location. So I always say, well, we're not, you know, here's where we are. We're here. And whatever neighborhood, whatever city, then the price and condition has to match. So, like I said, if you're going to start doing major renovations before you sell, like starting to pull up carpet and painting and things like that, and I want to give you my other three, which is clean, declutter, and paint. That's going to give you your best return on investment. Clean, declutter, and paint. So, anyway, if you have blue carpet, it's meticulously maintained, and you have the time, energy, and money to get it removed and then have it finished, then I would say go for it. Make sure that you're prepared that you will have to finish flooring underneath. It may cost extra, but don't assume that just because you have blue carpet in your home, the home is not going to sell. Everything sells at the right price. Mia, do we have any questions in the chat?
Oh, yeah, we have. One is, how does a seller decide whether it's worth renovating something before listing or just pricing the home accordingly?
That's a really good question. Sometimes, you know what? It's really depends on the person. I mean, that's why you need a trusted advisor like myself. I sit down and I've been doing this 22 years, top 5% nationwide over that time pretty consistently. And that's why you need a trusted advisor. And also not someone who just says, here's a cookie cutter. Everyone has to do the same thing. I work with sellers and buyers. So when I'm working with the buyers, I can see what the buyers are looking for. And so if I'm meeting with a seller and they're going, you know what, this is as much as I can do right now. Let me help you figure out the things that you can do that might be small, that's going to get you a good return. So, like, you might need to do a little patchwork. Maybe you don't have, like I said, the time, energy, or money. Maybe you just need to get some decluttering. Maybe you need to get some painting. But that's why I don't want to just put something out there that you could just find online. I need to actually come and do a consultation. And I need to look at it as someone who's been in the business 22 years, been in thousands of homes, sold hundreds of houses, and I've showed so many houses and with my buyers seeing it through their eyes. So that's the most important thing. I'm not just going on Zillow and it's not a spreadsheet. And it's more, I have to come and really take a look and we have to discuss where you're at. Anything else?
Ah, yes. Is there anything you think sellers spend money on that usually doesn't increase the sales price?
Oh, that's a really good question. You know, National Association of Realtor always puts out a list. They put out a list every year. And the list is typically things like that. They say, like, if you put in a new kitchen, you're it's not going to appreciate. That's what they tell you. Now, that being said, again, case by case basis. If you have a really outdated kitchen, you could put something in, someone you know, professional, do it. But the National Real Association of Realtors, and I'll put a link on there, they usually say that those things don't necessarily remodel is not necessarily a good return. But clean, declutter, and paint, those are the best return, the best. So as far as again, it comes down with the individual thing. That's when you need a trusted advisor. And so that's when we need to sit down, figure out your strategy and your plan, because I believe everybody's situation is unique and it's no different than, you know, a court of law or whatever else, someone's representing you. And you are a unique individual with your own plans, your own needs, your own time frame. And we really need to sit down and figure out what that is. Anything else?
As of this time, we don't have any other questions. Thank you.
Okay. Well, here's what I want to say to my buyers. Don't let outdated stuff scare you. Pay attention to the pride of ownership, okay? If that place has been meticulously maintained and that bathroom is outdated, but it has been meticulously maintained for 40 years, that says a lot. And quite frankly, you can sometimes get a deal because other people go, ooh, that bathroom. Now, I get it. It's okay to buy something that's been fixed up. Not everybody wants to fix up a bathroom and you want to walk into a good bathroom. I get it. But if you are willing to do the work or live in a home with some outdated things, you might get a much better deal on the house. The other thing is, if you are a seller, don't panic if your house is outdated, okay? Don't panic. There are buyers out there who will love your home. We market the fact that, there's hardwood floors under the carpet. If there isn't, you know that for a fact. Um, we make sure to let people know how much you love this home and all the things that you did do to maintain it. Okay. So don't panic over that either, because sometimes people, I can't move because I can't afford to put a new kitchen in and a new bath. The best thing to do is contact me first, and I will come over free of charge, free estimate, 412-657-3555. And that's just to give you an idea of the things you need to do. For example, someone just sent me a message asking about if they should put a bathroom on the first floor with a tub. And I really said, I need to see the house to see everything and the layout. I don't want to give advice blankly because it's really not that simple. It depends on the home, it depends where the other bathtubs are. I don't want to give advice like that without really seeing the home. So don't be afraid to have me over. I am no judgment. Anybody on here knows as an agent that I've been around. Um, I do not judge people for having collections or it doesn't have to be spotless. It's okay. It's okay when I come over. Now, I will help you and tell you what to do so that we can get maximize the amount of money that you can get for your home. But let's face it, not everybody's looking to maximize the amount of money as much as maybe they're in a hurry to sell or they have to move within a certain date or they found another house that they love and they are limited on time. My thing is I always try to maximize your money because you need it to do other things, but it's not, or I should say, not just your money, your return on investment. Your return on investment, like if you put a new kitchen in for 10,000, I want to see that you got 12,000. But at the end of the day, we really have to focus on the individual and the individual's need. The difference between a trusted advisor and online research and Zillow type things is that I'm going to come and not just use data. Okay. I been, like I said, in this business a long time, and I know what buyers are looking for based on seeing things through their eyes. Um, so I think that's really all I have for you guys today. Like I said, if you're a seller, don't be afraid if it's needs work. If you're a buyer, don't be afraid of the work. The most important thing is the structural. Okay. We're most concerned with how the home has been maintained. Blue carpet, hey, listen, trends always come back in. I know blue carpet isn't exactly popular right now, but people are starting to put wallpaper back up. So there's always trend. Maybe we'll be seeing pink bathrooms again in a few years. Hey, there's a reason people liked it then, right? So maybe people like pink again for the bathroom. And for a while, everybody wanted gray walls, and now people are going with more color. So things do change, and there's a lot of preferences, okay? And so for that individual, and here's what I always say, it only takes one. You only need one. I did an open house and a lot of the people said need too much work. And one last group came through and said, we love this house. This is a perfect fit for us. And they put an offer and it was accepted. So sometimes sellers want feedback. The feedback is it's not the right house for that person. Now, if you have it on the market a while and you're not getting any offers, then we go back to price, condition, location. Anyway, that's it for now with our blue carpet topic. We'll see you next week. And like I said, the most important thing is to reach out to me at 412-657-3555. Don't ever worry that you're wasting my time. Don't ever worry that, you're not ready to sell. All that's okay. I'm in it for the long game. All right. So that's it, Mia.
You.
Ha Thank you. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Looking forward to turning the clocks forward to get an extra hour of sunlight. Yay.